Ray, as you mentioned, this was it was a very abrupt turnaround. As I was following this in the news every day, the war drums were being beaten. And let's start with that. Begin with us here and explain to us what the case was, or the case that was being made, as to why we should, as the United States, why we should be militarily intervening in this civil conflict.
Well, the president a year ago made an ill-advised statement saying that if there were any chemical weapons used in Syria, then he drew a red line. And in my day, people didn't draw red lines. I don't know where that came from. Netanyahu famously drew a red line there at the UN last year. People draw red lines now. I guess maybe they think that's a smart diplomatic move. Well, it's really dumb, I have to say, because that gives the initiative to any ragtag group or any ragtag government the initiative to determine what your policy is, because all they had to do, of course, was cause a chemical incident. Now, there was one, big-time one, just outside of Damascus on August 21st. A lot of people were killed. A lot of people were injured. We know that. Now, the U.S. administration immediately tried to conflate two separate and distinct things. There is no doubt, they all said, that there was a terrible incident, terrible attack with chemicals outside Damascus on August the 21st, and that President Assad was responsible. Ooh, wait a second. Where's the evidence of the latter? Well, we assess, we believe, actually, Secretary of State John Kerry said 35 times on the afternoon of August 30th, we believe, we believe, we believe, we believe. Now, where was the evidence? Well, they served up a very anemic, shall we say, statement here, which was not even described as an intelligence summary. Oh, actually, the press described it that way. But it was rather bizarre because it was not put out by the intelligence community. It was put out by the White House. And what that means, there was ample opportunity to massage it, to add to it, to edit it, to make it more alarmist. It was called not an intelligence assessment, but a government assessment. And I'd like to just quote some of the meat of it on the first page, maybe just two sentences. Quote, "We assess with high confidence that the Syrian government carried out the chemical weapons attack in Damascus suburbs on August 21st. Our high confidence assessment is the strongest position that the U.S. intelligence community can take short of confirmation." Ooh, wait a second. Not so fast. Are you saying that this is not confirmed? That you're able to have high confidence without confirmation? Well, if you understand English the way I do, that's precisely what this statement says. Now, after that statement was released, there were all manner of leaks about, for example, an intercepted communication which showed without any doubt that Assad ordered these attacks. Oh? Other versions of that intercepted message said, no, this was the Syrian army expressing alarm and surprise. Did you guys, hey, Damascus, did you know what just happened here? Did somebody order a chemical? What's going on? Tell the president right away, okay? Now, which was it? We don't know. What we need to have is the president release that intercepted message. Now, the argument against that, the traditional argument that we intelligence officers would use, is no, you can't do that because of sources and methods. Well, I just suggest that people take a step back and say, do we really believe that the Syrians will be shocked, just shocked out of their minds to think that the United States is eavesdropping on their conversations? I mean, they would have to have been asleep for the last 4 months with all these revelations about NSA's reach, NSA's activities. So I don't think they'd be shocked. Now, what about the substance of the message? Well, the substance is out there in the media. The only problem is there are two versions. One is that Assad clearly ordered this attack, and the other one is, well, if he ordered it, he had a whole bunch of subordinates that were surprised out of their minds and reporting back to him, did you know what happened? So what's the suggestion here? Suggestion is really, really simple, and that is that this kind of situation has happened many times in the past, including when I was on active duty, so to speak, with the CIA. And one very relevant and one sort of analogous incident was in 1986. Some of your listeners will remember that there was a terrible terrorist bombing attack on a disco in Berlin. A couple of U.S. servicemen were killed. 230 people were injured, including scores of U.S. service people. And we knew that the Libyans were responsible. How did we know that? There were intercepted messages indicating that. Now, what Ronald Reagan did is he waited 10 days. The attack was on the 5th of April, 1986. And Reagan waited 10 days, and then he sent 60 bombers to level the palace in Tripoli, trying to get Gaddafi. They also struck Benghazi, caused a lot of damage, killed a lot of civilians, including Gaddafi's 15-month-old little daughter, and almost killing his 3-year-old youngest son, missing Gaddafi. And one has to kind of get out of the 9/11 environment here and realize that before 9/11, people used to be outraged when people sort of killed little children, okay? And besides that, everyone knew that Ronald Reagan hated Gaddafi. As we would say in New York, he hated him from another picture, from another film already, So the world populace was indignant, and they said, here's Reagan shooting from his hip again. We got to restrain this guy. So the president came to us, and he said, give me that message. And we did. And he said, this is pretty conclusive. We got to release it.